This year's ceremony offers something I think that is a little bit unique because two of our inductees are being introduced by their spouse. Imagine what your spouse would have to say about you up here. Our next honoree is Erik Naso, who is one of the most skilled photographers and lighting wizards that I have ever had the chance to work with. I'm getting a stretch because where's your wife, Erik? Anybody who's had the chance to work with Erik Naso knows even if you're having a bad day with your look, if you know what I mean, he is going to make you look good. Here to introduce Erik is a familiar face to all of San Diego. She is an Emmy-winning anchor and reporter who spent more than 2 decades covering news here in town at both KUSI and NBC7 before transitioning into politics. Bridget Naso is the current Director of Legislative and External Affairs for San Diego City Council District 3. And she is also married, of course, to our next Silver Circle honoree, her husband, Erik Naso. They met while working news in Bakersfield 30 years ago. Wow. They share not only a love of journalism and creative storytelling, but also for their son, Jake, who's sitting right next to them. Jake is following in Dad's footsteps and is working in television and film production up in Los Angeles. Way to go, Jake. Bridget, you're up.
That's funny. That happened the other way around in D.C. once. When you were supposed to win an award, you were out there. I got to come up. So, because he's going to talk a little bit shorter, I'm stealing some of his time. So, everybody knows where's Dawson. You know about stealing time. You know me. It's going to go a minute. Okay, so as already mentioned, I met Erik when we worked together at KERO in Bakersfield. It was the early 90s, 1992. I was 10. Erik was a chief photographer, and he played lead guitar in a rock band. So naturally, he would walk around the newsroom with those skinny jeans on and rocking that long glam hair. Yeah, so this budding reporter and photographer covered some stories together, and it was hard not to admire him. And his work, too. His work was really good. He also had a number of admirers, including Kim Stevens. Kim Stevens is a Silver Circle member and a professor of journalism at CSU Fresno. She's also a morning anchor. And here's a bit of what Kim had to say about working with Erik. Erik was the first person who introduced me to the art of powerful storytelling through video. Erik looked for just that angle that would hit the heart, energy, surprise, dismay, disgust, or glory of the story. He elevated my storytelling, no doubt. Kim also had a couple of stories about the times that we hung out at the Alley Cat dive bar in Bakersfield. So if you ever go to Baco, that is definitely the place to go, for sure. So it didn't take long for Erik to leave Bakersfield, leave it in the dust. All the National Press Photographer Association awards that he was winning was getting him noticed. His next stop for the rocker was Arizona, briefly at KVOA in Tucson before being snatched up to join this newly formed ABC 15 in Phoenix. ABC 15 colleague Bob Woodruff, who would go on to become anchor at ABC Nightly News, had this to say about working with Erik. This was an extraordinary elite team of photographers and journalists brought together to create a new kind of news operation driven by creativity and collaboration, and Erik was one of the leaders in that effort. Bob also recalled the Emmy that you guys won together, and I think that was maybe your first Emmy. And he also sends his congratulations, as does Kim. In Phoenix, Erik also took another big role, already mentioned it. He became father to our son, Jake, and he is a great dad. So fatherhood and a little less hair couldn't keep him from climbing the charts. Next stop, Washington, D.C., in the investigative unit with Elizabeth Leamy at WTTG. In D.C., Erik and Elizabeth won a number of Emmy Awards and an Edward R. Murrow Award for their work. Yeah. So Elizabeth shared this about working with Erik. Erik Naso is an artist behind the camera, not just capturing every shot, but doing so with flair and finesse. He was a true partner to me when we worked together. The visual lessons that I learned from him helped me work my way up to consumer correspondent for Good Morning America. Now, while DC is the nation's capital, Erik's dream city was calling, yes, Sandiego. So he started here at NBC7 in 1999 in the news department and quickly moved to creative services, where he's been able to shine, helping to shape the station's image. Creative producer Carrie Briggs nominated Erik for this honor, and she's here today. Carrie. So here's just a touch of what Carrie had to say. Erik is not only the master of making everyone and every scene look amazing with lighting and composition, but he has such an incredible gift for making people feel so comfortable in front of the camera. He charms the kids in a way that would make kindergarten teachers jealous. So, Carrie, you were talking about kids and not reporters, right? Those kids. I know, it's like a fine line. A fine line. Huh. So many other kind words, too. I know you're getting touched over there from so many colleagues. I'm just running out of time, Artie. Flash forward, and Erik has now taken home 20 Emmys in his career. Wait. At least 20, because we stopped counting because there's no more room in the house. So I'm not even sure that it might be more than that, but at least. So you told your dad when you were little you were going to be a rock star. And you know, he and your mom are looking down today with a lot of pride on you, because you, Erik, are a rock star. Congratulations on being inducted into the Pacific Southwest National Academy Arts and Sciences Silver Circle.
Wow. Okay. I don't know what else I can add to that. That was fantastic. I guess first and foremost, I do have to thank my lovely wife. You are amazing. You're the best partner in life I could ever have had. Also, my son Jake. Well, look what we did. Look what we did together. He's amazing. Your mom and I love you so much. Whew, I don't know if I can get through this thing. But also, it's where I work with in the last many years, especially at NBC7. They're my family, and we've spent 24 years growing together, and it will be 25 years in July. Just mind-blowing. Goes so fast. When looking back, I never thought I would be a broadcaster, or in broadcasting, as mentioned. I thought I was going to be a rock star. My sights were set on that. But that didn't work out so well, and you know what? I think I'll be for the best. A family friend, how I got started was a family friend of ours. He had a side hustle going on doing corporate video duplication. Wow, does that sound dry or what, right? Making duplicates of videos for corporations. But he decided that he didn't want to do that anymore. So he offered it to me for free. He basically said, Erik, I'll hand you my Rolodex. You guys remember what a Rolodex is? And then all you need to do is buy a couple VCRs, some machines, and you're off and going. You'll have yourself a little side business. What a great experience that ended up being, because I learned a lot about business. And I learned about advertising, because I had to create ads, get new clients, keep my clients happy, all these things that we kind of do now, right? When we're in broadcast and on our sales and creative services side. So when I was watching these videos, I was like, man, these videos are kind of dry. Maybe I should just buy a video camera and I can offer video and duplication. Wow, what a thought. So I went ahead, bought a video camera, extended my little experience, started working more. I was like, wow, awesome, this is great. Well, what else can I do? I was watching TV and the news popped on and I was thinking, you know what? I think I could do that. So I got enough nerve, I think, probably at that point, because I think I was thinking, maybe, you know, some guy can pick up the phone and call a local news station, get a job, without any journalism experience. But I got lucky. I called all the stations and pretty much got the door slammed on my face. But I called one last one. It was KERO. And he gave me a chance. He listened to my story, and I told him, because this was it. If I didn't get this, I'm done. I'm going back to shooting corporate videos and duplication. And I told him, look, I'm a fast learner, I have a good attitude, and I really want to do this. And he said, you know what, Eric? We need more people like you here. Why don't you come on down, talk to the chief photographer, and we'll see what we can do. Well, that worked out really well. I hung out with him for a couple of days. He gave me the thumbs up. He gave me my first opportunity to become a photojournalist. That changed my life. And then eventually, I was working part-time, and then I got a full-time job after a couple more years, and watching a lot of NPPA videos. That changed everything. That's when I really discovered what true storytelling was all about. NPPA was probably the most significant thing that I had ever really joined, because they were an incredible resource for telling stories and working together as a team. And that's really it. I got hired full time. After 4 years, I became the chief photographer, which is pretty crazy. No journalism experience. I learned about journalism on the job. But I was working with really talented people that were hungry. You know that first job you ever had? Everybody's just connecting, learning. It's like woodshedding. It was amazing. We were all kind of making music together. It was beautiful. And though I knew I had to go to another place. I wanted to try to build and be around just even more talented people than where I was at. Not to say they weren't talented, but kind of elevate. So my next stop was KVOA, which was a very good NPPA station. I learned a lot there. That was in Tucson, and then KNXV in Phoenix. Those people were I was so fortunate to work among giants. It was intimidating to go to work. And you were I'm looking at all these people, and I'm looking at their work, and I'm going, what am I doing here? I got to really step it up. But that was so exciting, and I just wanted to get called to the challenge and elevate myself. And same with WTTG. It was, to work in DC, it's a major market, and then just to be doing really, investigative stories in Washington, DC. Yeah, there's a lot of them, especially consumer ones. So we were having a lot of fun. I remember even doing the confrontation videos. We got chased by a guy with a shovel because he didn't want to be on camera. All that stuff, grabbing the camera stuff. It was very exciting, but we did really good stories. It was a lot of fun. So I really wanted to live in San Diego, as Bridget mentioned, and being here this is really my last stop. I don't want to go anywhere else. I'm gonna sunset from this place. This is perfect. And I work with just wonderful people. It's a great family environment, and I just want to thank Katie for being a great leader. You just make work great. It's fun. I appreciate you. And associations, like I mentioned, I think they're really important. I found joining associations, like I said, NPPA and NATIS, they're all very important for growing and learning. Without NPPA, I wouldn't have learned how to tell a visual story. It was so important to watch others at their craft so that I could try those techniques and apply them to my own. And working as a team with a reporter. That really worked out well, because once you start really learning how to be that guy, people want to work with you. And that's part of getting even better product out. You're working with the best in the newsroom. And I remember watching multiple years of winners on 3/4-inch tape. You guys remember that too? That's right next to the Rolodex. Even with all the hits and dropouts, just watching this incredible work was so inspiring. I've always been just really absorbing everybody's work and just really appreciating that. And I always wanted to share what I have learned, because I didn't create this stuff. I absorbed it from everybody around me. And I always wanted to make sure that I gave people the time. If they ever asked me a question, I would be more than happy to help them out. I think that when I left photojournalism and when I moved to commercial production, those skills that I learned as a photojournalist really translated well into the commercial production world. I wasn't a dawdler. I never wanted to sort of like spend way too much time on a shot. I wanted to get it shot. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to make sure I had all my elements, and you know, and editing as well. I mean, like I can edit a POP like a breaking news story. It's a great skill, and it really helped me focus quickly. I want to say something about NATAS, Pacific Southwest. It's just a wonderful organization. They do a fantastic job in organizing the Emmy Awards. They're a great organization with great people. And Mary Ellen, we've known each other for a long, long time, and I appreciate everything you've done. And also all the folks that do all the heavy lifting. It's much appreciated, and I'm sure everybody in this room can agree with that. When it comes to awards, the most prestigious prizes in our industry is that Emmy. It's the one we're always chasing. I've been fortunate to have honored with a few, but it took some time, and that's fine. Like I said, it also takes time to hone your craft. I love cinematography. I love photography. I love composition. And I have to admit, my favorite part of my job is lighting. I love making people look great. It always makes me feel good when I can achieve that goal. A big part of my job in creative services is lighting and shooting anywhere, outdoors, indoors, but outside is always particularly challenging, especially like, you know, a bright sunny day at noon in San Diego with not a cloud in the sky. So you know, bring out the butterfly, put out that giant reflector that I know you all hate so much, but boy, does it make you look good, and it really, really works well. But I really appreciate a lot that you guys just put up with me and knew and trust. The trust that you've given me let me do what I want to do the best for you, and I wanted to always make everyone look the best they could possibly look. Today is incredibly special to me because for me, being a part of the Silver Circle, it's not an individual thing. It's not that I entered it and hope to win. It's the gracious NATAS members that select us for this honor. Not only does it make me feel old, but it warms my heart. And it makes me happy in a whole different way than winning an Emmy. Now, don't get me wrong, I still want to win another statue. I always enjoyed helping others learn the craft. I got that from my father, who was an artist as well, and a professor, a very, very talented man. And I admired him deeply, and I miss him deeply. He loved teaching, and so do I. I always felt that knowledge should be shared. It's so important to share, and if asked, I would try in under 30 minutes to help you. I would just do it. It's okay. Maybe 30 minutes might take it, though. Especially Carrie, I want to thank you for nominating me. Yeah, I appreciate that very much. And NATAS for allowing me to join such a wonderful group of broadcasters and artists. Thank you very much. Supposed to be numbers on the top. 425.